Yo, what's up? Today I'm gonna show you how to fillet some crappie. You guys asked for it, here it is. Roll the intro. Okay, a couple things that you need before you start to fillet a fish. First, a trash can. It doesn't have to be this big. This is what I just carry in my building here, so I'm gonna put that right there. Second, I like to use gloves. Go ahead and make fun of me. It's nice for me. I don't like to get the ooey gooeys under my rings and all that. You go ahead, make fun of me. Next, a bowl of water, clean water that is, a towel, and a flat surface to work on. Oh crap, forgot a knife. I'll be right back. What are we looking for? What are we looking for? Oh, yes. 1644 4-inch Rapala fillet knife. This is the one. Let's go. We're going with this one. Let's give it a shot. In the old, who was that? What's his name? Stale Cracker. Let's do it. Dang it. I guess I bought a knife and now I have to wait for an associate to get my age verified. Here she comes. Got the goods. Headed back to the house to fillet these babies up, get them in some oil, and make some golden crispies. I got the knife. As I mentioned earlier, Rapala makes a really awesome 4-inch blade, old school style blade. You just can't beat an old school wooden handle Rapala. By the way, it's Rapala, not Rapala or whatever you guys call it. Look it up. And you need some fish. Let me go grab those. Got the fish. Okay, now earlier we talked about a towel. The reason I use a towel is because it provides a nice like matte finish. Yes, I said matte. That allows you to put the fish down without it flopping, flipping, and kind of sliding everywhere. Now I'm right-handed, so if you're left-handed, chances are you're gonna feel more comfortable with doing this on the other. I'm going down as far as I can until I start feeling a rib cage. Now what I do is I'll go all the way down towards the like tail area, and I'll kind of go up until you'll feel the bones in there, the spine that runs all the way through it. You want to stay on top of it and go all the way through until it pops out the other end. You see my knife on the other end there, right there? So now I'll hold the fish flat with my hand and work it all the way down as I'm kind of angling the knife at a 45-degree angle towards the tail. When I get to this point and I have the back flap done here, I'll lift up past this fin and do an angle cut so the angle is closer to the top of the head like this. I'll slice all the way down like a so until I feel it kind of cut through that area that I just cut. This is a bloody job, guys. This is the bloody job. You want to work your knife up and around that rib cage, and you're gonna feel it. You'll actually feel it and hear it kind of click around and just go around. Now, some guys like that belly meat. I do not. I usually stop right there and I'll cut it one side all the way down like so. Now that's side number one. We'll set this off to the side for future purposes. Side number two, same thing. I flip the knife upside down, wipe your knife off on the towel. I flip my knife upside down like this and go opposite, same thing that we just did, all the way down, kind of seesawing the knife back and forth until you get right to where these two fins connect like that. See how the top fin, the rectal fin, and the top fin, the dorsal, connect? You could kind of draw a line there. That's where I would kind of feel through the top of that spine and work it at an angle all the way to the end. See that? Again, I'm cutting it all the way down until I feel that rib cage. Come back, flip that fin up, cut it at an angle. Same thing, just the other side. Work it all the way around the rib cage, very so slightly, until I feel it kind of go through. You'll see some silver skin in there sometimes too. And I cut it down. Now that's our other loin. As for this, right there. Now you could use that for fertilizer as well, for those that like to garden. Till up a little bit of your dirt, carcasses in there, and that helps really good and makes good fertilizer. Now once we get to this section, you have what was the front of the fish and the tail of the fish. And what I like to do is start with the tail of the fish, and I come in a little bit of the meat, and I don't cut all the way through, but I make kind of like a score until it gets down to the skin and start to angle my knife and turn it this way until it's flat. And that gives me like a little chunk of skin or a little chunk of meat to hold on to. Can you see that okay? That little chunk of meat. And then literally you're just grabbing that with your fingers. You're holding it kind of with your two fingers. And while you're keeping your knife nice and flat, just working it back and forth all the way until the skin comes right off the meat like so. Now this goes into the cold water. I just throw them in the cold water for now. Once we get this filled up, we're gonna go back to the house and we will run this under running water and get all those blood lines and everything else. Sometimes you might have a little bit of a skin line or something like that you can work out. Just discard that. Same thing with the other side. You're just going down a little bit until you got a little handle there on the meat. Now, if that happens, like that just happened, I went down too far, no sweat, it is what it is. Just go back to it, go back with a little more meat and angle it. And there you go, there's a nice little chunk of meat. You're gonna find that when the water's really cold, or if you ice down your fish almost immediately after you catch them, that the flesh of the fish is gonna be really firm and will stick less to the actual skin when you're going to deskin it. If you keep them in water, you don't freeze them right away, or it's in the summer, you're gonna find that your meat's gonna wanna hug that skin and stick to it a lot tighter. Now, what's the preferred method that I like to do when harvesting a bluegill? What's the best way to get all the meat off of these guys? Bluegills tend to be smaller in size typically than a crappie, obviously. You'll find tanks here and there, but what I like to do is what's called a southern style fry, and I'm gonna show you how to do that here close. So what I like to do is the scales of the fish are going from front to back, from head to tail. And I like to take either a scaler or a spoon or a knife itself. Keep your knife perfectly like 90-degree angle against the fish. You're not trying to cut the flesh. You're just trying to like rub it, and you're gonna rub it against the actual scales that they go. So all that's doing is peeling those scales up off the fish and leaving you with nothing but just the skin. When you're scaling a fish like this, you're gonna wanna make sure that you do it either outside or an area where you don't mind the scales kind of flinging around. So when we got it all scaled out, what I like to do is just literally run your knife all the way through the fish, all the way through, and cut it all the way down through. I also like to go like this and take the bottom of the belly and cut it all the way down to the rectal fin, something like that, just to open up the cavity a little more. Taking my finger and I'm scooping out all that nasty, and that's going in the trash as well. What I like to do is just take my knife and put 3 scores per side. Now in this case, you're literally wanting to score it all the way down to where the spine is. And what that does is it makes for more crispies. It also allows the rub or whatever you're gonna coat this with, a breading, to get into that cavity. Now, Rick, you mean to tell me that you're gonna eat the fins? Yup. Those babies fry right up. Trust me, try it. If you've never done it, they taste just like, almost like a potato chip. It's delicious. I'll show you. I'm gonna fillet the rest of these fish up and we'll see you here in the kitchen. Okay, we're in the kitchen. I have a cast iron skillet going about 3/4, about a halfway up the pan with some peanut oil. I like peanut oil. I think it's the best. Obviously, if you have a peanut allergy, careful with that. There it is, right there. Bam. Oil is a heating. And we have our fish all rinsed off, nice and white, ready to bread. Now, all I like to do is take a breader or a breading mix. This one we chose was our buddy over there, Cajun Two-Step. That's money, dude. What's his name? Stale Cracker. It's new. I've never tried it. We'll see how it is. And you just dump this into a 1-gallon freezer bag. I patted these dry. We're just gonna throw these into that breading mix. Now, when do you know that the grease is ready? You throw a little bit of the breader into the pan. If it starts to sizzle, I turn the vent fan on. If you have a hood fan in the house, it's nice when you're frying. It keeps that fry smell down in the house. I take a fillet right out of the breader and literally lay it away from you into the juju mix. That's oil. Juju mix is oil. As for the bluegill, we do the exact same thing. Just put it in the pan and lay it away in. You're gonna wanna flip it when it's golden brown, just like that. What I like to do while that's cooking is get myself a plate with a bunch of paper towels on there to soak up the grease. I will say also the first side takes a little bit longer than the second side. When you flip it, it turns brown pretty quick. And that is what we're looking for. Put that right on the paper towel, let it dry off, and serve. Same thing with the gill, looking for that golden brown skin on the one side, just like that. Flip it around. Those fins are starting to crisp up nicely. Those taste just like potato chips. You like them too? Yep. Getting nice and golden brown, all in those score marks that we made. I'm gonna flip it around just to check the back side. That baby is ready for the eat. Okay, Rylan here, my son's gonna show you guys. Take 2. Rylan here, my son's gonna show you how to eat the bluegill. This is how you eat the bluegill when it's a southern fry style. So let me zoom in there, Rye. You can show these people how it's done. What do you do there with that? Now that's with the skin and the breader. Give her a taste test. Let me know what you think.
Bussin'.
Bussin', he says. Like single bussin' or bussin'? Bussin'. All right. Thumbs up if it's good. Thumbs down if it's bad. All right. Heck yeah. Now we have a family of 6, and this was a dozen crappies. And look at that. That's plenty enough to feed my family. Golden, crispy goodness. Oh my goodness. Get you some. Hey, if you made it this far in the video, go ahead and comment below Crispies. Thank you. If you've not done so yet, make sure you subscribe below and click the thumbs up. Ring that notification bell so you'll get in all them goofy. All them goofy. I don't know what I'm trying to say.
Juicy, maybe?
All of them juicy notifications. Share with your favorite friend, and we will see you on the next one. I'm gonna go eat.